mystics, medicine men, oracles, shaman. Whatever you call them, in every culture there are individuals, high priests and high priestesses, who practice the mystical arts that have been handed down through the centuries. Here in the Philippines, they're called Babaylan. Now, in pre-colonial Philippines, the Babaylan played an intrinsic role in Philippine society, playing numerous roles within the community, from spiritual leader to political advisor to community healer. But the most important role that they played was as the direct medium between the spirit and the living world. Every important community decision had to be made by a Babaylan directly communicating with the spirits of nature and the spirits of their ancestors. It is to be noted that in pre-colonial times, the Babaylan were primarily women, revered in society as high priestesses. But as the centuries of Spanish colonialism aggressively transformed the Philippines from a society based on matriarchal mysticism into one dominated by patriarchal monotheism, the Babaylan were persecuted as witches and had to go into hiding. But the Babaylan have persevered to this day. But because of centuries of persecution, displacement, and disrespect, they're very protective over their rituals, which they practice in secret deep within their indigenous communities. In order to have an audience with the real Babaylan, one must be vetted by their ancestors and invited into their communities. In this episode, with nothing but curiosity and deep respect, I aim to find and meet the remaining real Babaylan of this island. I hope to witness some of their rituals and to document the wisdom and the beauty that lie in their ancient culture. I'm Ben Scharlin, and I'm Don Papa Rum's man on the ground here in Sugarlandia. And in this episode of Wild Tales, I go in search for the real Babaylan. Now, before I dive into my search for the real Babaylan and their rituals, I wanted to sit down with Clem del Castillo, who is the founder of the Babaylan Festival here in Bago, and talk with him about the historical significance of the Babaylan and also the importance of preserving their ancient customs and culture.
We went into the culture of the Babaylans. We studied it. They were happy to share their experiences, and they taught us a lot of things also in the process. Remember, Babaylans are the ancient ones. When you talk about history, they were even prehistory. This is our culture. So maybe sometimes we take a little time out for our culture too. Your talk with them has already imbued you with the necessary. Respect is the most important thing for them.
Yeah.
An open mind, because they can blow your mind. Belief in them is more important. There are more than just us in this world.
Yeah.
My advocacy is always preserving our culture, and Babaylan is part of our culture, and we should never lose sight of our culture, because so many things are happening in this world. But only by looking back, then we can move forward. We're using our own culture. Maybe from all knowing the knowledge of the past, they can also make stories for the future.
I'm on my way to visit Sadio. Now, she's a Babaylan who specializes in hilot. Now, hilot is an ancient healing method for the Babaylan. It's like an energy cleansing realignment massage. Also supposed to be able to cure broken bones and major ailments. And it's quite accessible here in the Philippines. You can find it on the menu at local spas and resorts, but to get it from an actual Babaylan is supposed to be a rarer, deeper, and more authentic experience. So that's what I'm curious about. So here I go.
curious.